What is up, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Evan. In today's video, I'm going to break down the 4 trades that I took today. Yes, I said 4 trades. I don't normally take that many trades today. It was an interesting day, to say the least, but I'm going to break down each and every single trade, explain why I got in, explain my frustrations throughout these trades, and explain to you exactly what happened. So on my screen, as you can see, we have QQQ pulled up. If you guys don't know already, the red arrows are my entries and the purple arrows are my exits. So as you can see here on the 1 minute time frame, I'm actually going to switch to the 5 minute time frame. We had on QQQ, we had 2 trend lines, well, technically 3. I drew one intraday. So we had 2 trend lines. We had a major one up here that was coming down and a major one right here that was coming down, or that was coming up. So right here on this trend line, I was looking for a possible break above that. As you can see, as the market opened, we got a push up slightly above that, and we got rejected. So I'll switch back to the 1 minute so you guys can see a little bit more in detail. As you can see on this 1 minute, when we came up here this morning, we perfectly rejected off of this trend line, which led me to think immediately, let me hop in some puts, but I wanted to see a little bit more downside first. So once we got this rejection here, I waited for the confirmation of the break below this previous little support right here. Once we broke below that, I entered for puts to the downside. And my goal here, my initial goal was 407. As you can see, I had 407 to the downside marked out. We didn't end up taking profits at 407. Once I was in the trade and we had some decent progress to the downside, I was now looking for a further target, which was around this 406.5 level, 406.3, around that area. So I wanted us to break below 407, hold below 407, make a little bit of progress to the downside so I could lock in my profits. Unfortunately, that never ended up happening. I was up 30%, 33% exactly on this trade, and I could have taken profits once, twice. And I remember thinking right here on this trade, this is the second time, this is the second opportunity that it's giving me to get out of this trade. Now, thankfully, I ended up getting out of this trade at break even. So as you can see, here was my entry on this trade. We came down here, almost broke below that, pushed back up, and as soon as we started to head back up, I could see this reversal pattern. I did not want to be a part of it, so I ended up getting out, and I was break even on the day. Actually, I was positive by probably 1 or 2%, but it was literally nothing. So I ended up basically being break even on that first trade. My second trade, I ended up trying for some calls to the upside. You can see this was my entry here. Once we got that push up, I decided to go in for calls because I saw this reversal pattern. Once I saw this reversal pattern, I said, okay, if we're going to go in, if we're going to push up, I could see us sweeping these highs up here and possibly hitting that trend line. I entered a puts or calls right here. Right, we slightly pulled back. My stop loss was below my trend line, and all of these confluences, the 9, the 20, the 45, and the 200 were all perfectly right there. So that was good for support anyways. Right, we ended up getting supported right there, pushing up, but we couldn't sweep those highs. Now on this second pullback, I was like, all right, we tested it again. Perfect bounce off of it. We came back down. I kid you not. I got out. I got out on this when the candle poked below my supports. So I got out of the trade, and then you can obviously see what happened right afterwards. So it sucks because this trade right here was a 20% loss. Now it was less size, but it was a 20% loss. So it's just things like this are going to happen in trading, and it sucks to see this. I swear this stuff happens like more often than not, and I'm trying to figure out a way to essentially like kind of avoid this. But you can see it pushed down. I got out, right, because I thought we were going to curl back over to the downside. And as soon as I got out, what do? We end up ripping, and I could have made a crazy percentage on this. But fortunately, that didn't happen. So that was the second trade for the day. That was a 20% loss. I did not measure the percentage gains of the other 2 trades. I just know I'm slightly positive on the day. So with that being said, we end up pushing up, right? We end up pushing up to the upside. Once we break my trend line up here, we had a little bit of resistance around that area, and then we end up pushing up and breaking above those previous highs as well. I enter calls on the break above those previous highs. Momentum's looking great. Everything looks fantastic, and I can put a stop below this recent candle right here. So risk to reward looked good. momentum looked good, direction in the market, everything looked fantastic. I ended up entering one contract here, and once we started to get more upside, I entered another contract. We ended up pushing above this 409.65 level, which I'll show you guys. It was just an area of where price was kind of hanging around, using it as resistance and support, just a general level right there from the previous day, or from Friday last week. So we'll zoom back in here, and you can see I had my two entries, one entry here, one entry here, and it was above that previous high. So previous high, got in one more once we started to see more movement up. And then I ended up selling and playing it safe once we broke above that 409.65 level. And this ended up making all my losses back on the day. So fantastic. Great little trade right there. And then finally, to top it off on the day, I started to see this resistance right here. We started to form some consolidation. Once I saw that, and I started to see a little bit of progress to the downside, I entered puts to the downside, caught this nice little move right here back to this 409.65 level as the resistance, sold just above it. And as you can see, that was a perfect exit. And here we are right now making this video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you can learn something from this. This is probably one of the most frustrating things right here. This trade right here is literally this entry, right, to this exit, and then it rips in my favor, is one of the most frustrating things in trading, I think, to ever exist. But with that being said, I'm hopefully going to find a way to manage it a little bit better next time and not get out too early. Maybe find a better entry so that way I'm able to hold the position a little bit better. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Hopefully you learned something from this. Took 4 trades today, a little bit on the green side, not red and not break even, which is good. But overall, hopefully you guys learned something from this and can apply it to your own trading. If you haven't already, check out the Discord and the link in the description down below. I post my levels in there, posted these levels in there this morning. And I will see you guys in the next video.